Hey everyone, what's going on? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com, and it is time to turn up on the postseason. Alabama defeated Georgia in the SEC championship game, punching their ticket to the college football playoff. Now they face Cincinnati. And as we count down to kickoff on December 31st, yes, that's where you're going to be spending your New Year's Eve. Let's bring in our good friend and former Alabama receiver, Mike McCoy, to preview and give us his prediction for this matchup.
Let's go now.
Hey, our buddy Mike McCoy, what is going on? How are you?
Doing well. Different scenery. I'm on daddy mode.
I was about to say, normally you're hanging out at the gym, Maximum Performance, right? Maximum Performance there in Bessemer, usually giving us the flex. Today, not the case. You said after this you got to go feed little man, and then
I'm on daddy duty.
I love it, daddy duty. That's the best. Well, we appreciate you joining us to break this matchup down. Of course, we appreciate our sponsor, Medical Properties Trust, sponsoring all of our playoff content here for the postseason. We appreciate you. And so here's the deal. This is going to be a fun matchup. But before we get into it, Michael McCoy, whichever it is, right?
That's right.
Michael McCoy, what's your middle name?
Michael Dion McCoy.
Michael Dion McCoy. I like it.
Yeah.
MDM, right?
Yep.
What were your thoughts on that Georgia game? I mean, let's be real. Going into that, there was a lot of confidence that Georgia was going to handle business. I have to be honest. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I predicted that Georgia would likely win. I was kind of a toss-up, but I felt like it could go either way. But I had Georgia handling the Tide, and well, I got to back those statements, comments, opinions up. You, on the other hand, you went Alabama all the way. What'd you think of that matchup and how that brings confidence into this college football playoff?
I honestly was surprised how Alabama handled business. Like, they had exceeded all expectations, and that defense from Georgia laid down. I don't know what Coach Saban said to him. I don't know what Kirby said to him, but that wasn't the Georgia we saw early in the whole season. So I don't know. But Bama is who we thought they were. They're going to be national champs again this year.
So basically you put up one of those big emojis where he's like scratching his head, like not sure what happened here. Was Georgia just not as good as we thought they were? Did they just not play as well? I will say this. I think Alabama played one of its more complete games of football that we've seen all season. And I think the fact that they had the performance they did against Auburn, obviously almost gave up the win there, went into overtime, multiple overtimes. I think that certainly played into the fire that Alabama came out with. And we know that's a huge rivalry. Alabama and Georgia, it goes down like that. And I'm going to be honest with you. Nick Saban had a little bit of a swagger about him after that football game, walking into the post-game room, a little swagger. And what did you think about his yummy comments? That rap was yummy.
All I'm going to say is Bama is a second half team, and it's the second half right now. I mean, they got their swagger back. Now, the only thing that did hurt, I know we're putting the cart before the horse, is Mechie is out. I feel like he is the X factor of that offense.
Yeah, no doubt. And certainly, hate to see his season end the way that it did. But you got guys like Jamison Williams that will have to step up, make some big plays. And so we're talking about Cincinnati. This is a team that made college football history, y'all, becoming the first group of 5 team to do so, to make the college football playoff. Alabama comes in as the 13.5-point favorite. That's what they opened as. That line will shift and continue to shift, I think, a bit more as we get closer to that game on December 31st that will kick off New Year's Eve at 2:30 Central Time on ESPN. So Cincinnati capturing the AAC conference game, right? So they get the win over Houston. They've got some players out there.
Did you see how you paused when you were getting ready to go to the conference? This is kind of gonna go like Notre Dame, like What conference are they in? They don't play anybody. So yeah.
You sense my hesitation. I just had to gather myself, right?
It's fine. You're not the only one. This is the SEC. There's no other leagues. It's fine.
Hey, Mike McCoy never backs down. He's never backing down. He's not gonna coddle the viewers out there, and he's not gonna coddle me. So no hall passes today. All right. So Cincinnati, they win the AAC, American Athletic Conference championship, 35-20 over Houston. Some playmakers on that side of the football for them, for the offense. They have Jerome Ford, who can straight up run the football. He had 187 yards in that game. He's tough. He's a tough guy. And Alabama, I think, is going to have their hands full. And then Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter is a proven quarterback. He's dynamic. And I think that, he's certainly somebody that they're going to have to keep an eye out on and get pressure against him. But let's talk about this Alabama offense behind Bryce Young. Oh, by the way, having one of the best performances of his life in the Georgia game. And then, of course, winning the Heisman Trophy. Nobody thought any differently, especially coming out of that one. I know that he was in the favorite coming out of the Auburn game. So, again, I look at this Alabama team, and when you see what they did against Georgia, they finally put a complete game together. And this, to me, was a championship-type football team. And then you have your Heisman Trophy winner in Bryce Young, which, by the way, Mike McCoy, you're a very humble guy. I've got to say that. You're very humble. You show gratitude. You show grace. I was so impressed with Bryce Young's Heisman Trophy speech. I thought he was just so gracious. And obviously he listed out everybody, and I would be terrified because I feel like I would leave someone out. But what a remarkable young man to give so much praise and credit. And you could just tell he is so grateful to be in the position that he is. Am I right?
I think his parents have done an outstanding job. I was more impressed by both of his parents. I didn't know his dad had a sports psychology background. So that's the cheat code right there. No wonder the kid is so cool, calm, and collected. I was thoroughly impressed with him. So, yeah, that gratitude. And, I mean, man, Coach Saban, I don't know where he found this kid at. Somebody is owed a bonus for finding him.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that speaks to the parents for sure. So you've got, obviously, Bryce Young, who has shown that he can compete on the big stage. We talked about Mechie being out, Jamison Williams. Now, here's the deal. The Bearcats do have a pretty solid defense, number 2 pass defense. They're good in the red zone in defense. They're good on scoring defense. So, they are going to bring some pressure, and I think they will make things difficult for the Tide. And again, this goes down to who did Alabama face this year defensively? We thought Georgia was the number 1 team in the country. We thought they were the number 1 defense. Obviously, that did not show up in the SEC championship game. But are we looking at a team that, certainly will give Alabama fits? And how close can they keep this football game despite being a 13.5-point favorite? So with that being said, your thoughts on what Alabama's offense needs to do to be able to shine oh so bright against the Cincinnati defense?
Do what Bama has been doing day in, day out. We're going to run it. We're going to make you bring guys up front, and then we're going to blow it off the roof. The only way they're going to stop that pass attack is if, and I know Jamison Williams has a chip on his shoulder. He is probably pissed off because he should have got the award for best receiver. Sorry, but I'm not sorry, which may have been a good thing. I don't think Cincinnati has seen this type of speed. I don't think they've seen this type of power. Now, don't get me wrong. Great organization, great coaching staff, great players, not taking away from nothing they have. But, look, that's JV, this varsity, so let's just be honest.
All right.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, so we look at Cincinnati's defense, as you said. I think one of the things that probably, if I'm looking at a matchup, I think one of their biggest strengths is probably their cornerbacks. They've got one of the best defensive players in the country, in my opinion. They call him Sauce Gardner, which is a pretty cool name because, my nickname, Lauren Saucler. So looking out for him, one of their biggest strengths is cornerback. I think that's going to be a matchup that's certainly going to be interesting to watch. and their ability to create turnovers, to create interceptions, obviously to take the ball away. So I think that's one thing that Alabama is going to have their hands full with, especially with a guy named Sauce that is going to be back there creating some havoc. And so that, I think they're going to have to really be buttoned up and certainly, recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure, and those guys in the back are going to try to create havoc, create plays. When you look at this Alabama defense throughout the year, we've had some ups and downs once again. And I know there was the head scratching and the why is Alabama struggling so much in this? But Alabama's defense really coming into its own. And obviously you can highlight one player. We all know his name. And just your thoughts at this point going into this matchup, Mike, how this defense has really stepped up and how significant their performance will be against a Cincinnati team that we talked about, again, has some prolific players, and Desmond Ridder, obviously the quarterback leading the way, and, Jerome Ford, another guy that we mentioned earlier, and, some playmakers that can kind of get things done and obviously create some explosive play opportunities that Alabama may or may not be ready for.
The difference is between everybody and everybody else is if you give Coach Saban 2 weeks or longer, they are going to be a hard to beat team. They are going to be complete. They're going to be resilient. They're going to be strong. It's been beneficial because if they have nicks and bruises, this is recovery time. And one thing, like I said, one thing about Coach Saban is he is a mastermind. He is going to make sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. So I don't think there will be a hiccup. I don't think I would be surprised, honestly, if this will be even a close game. I'm not trying to boast or brag. I'm just being honest. I'm just stating facts because I don't think that Cincinnati has seen this type of speed on the outside, and I don't think they've seen this type of strength up front. And same thing on the other side. I don't think they've seen – look, I'm a country guy. I'm a hunter. And in the country, we say, man, that's ants on a meat skin. That's like you take a piece of meat or you take a piece of bologna, you throw it on the ground, and you see the ants just swarm around it. That's how it's going to be.
You always bring something new to the table, man. When I think about bologna, I think about fried bologna. You just changed my whole entire mindset. I love me some fried bologna, by the way. And I'm a country gal too. So prediction, go ahead and give me your score. You kind of laid it out there for me, but I want to know what you're predicting for this one. Is this going to be a high scoring game? How close is it actually going to be?
48-21.
Ooh, wow. You got Alabama racking up the scoreboard there. All right. I feel it. Let me see here. So Alabama, to me, I think will be challenged in this one. They will need to keep pressure on that quarterback, Desmond Ridder. He does pose a threat on his legs, so we know that Alabama has fits sometimes with mobile quarterbacks. And I think that this Cincinnati team does have potential to score some points. And here's the thing. First of all, Alabama will be home away from home. We know they've played it. If it's not the Mercedes Dome there in Atlanta, it's always in Dallas. So that, I think they'll travel well. I think they'll bring a lot of fans, especially with the confidence being up. But I also think Cincinnati's going to travel well too, because they're the Cinderella team. They're the underdogs. It's basically going to be Alabama fans versus the rest of the world rooting for Cincinnati in this one. But with all that being said, I think Alabama's performance against Georgia, you've got to have confidence in them that they reignite. You talked about it. They're a second half team. They're a fourth quarter team. I think they're going to bring it. I still think it's going to be close. My prediction, Alabama wins 38-31.
Medical Properties Trust, at the very heart of healthcare.
It's guaranteed that I die a legend. Yeah, son, God, homie, I'm reverend. Breaks, just protecting my investment.